So I was listening to this dorky podcast on it was the Fantasy Pros podcast. And this time of year, they didn't really have much fantasy football to talk about because everybody's just kind of waiting for the season to start. And they were talking about pools and how you win your office pools, or in the case of the RedZone Challenge, a community pool. And if you want to win those tickets to the Firestone Walker Invitational, they say that what you should do is on these games that are close, like this weekend, the closest game, and I don't know if this would be a good example, but the closest game, as far as every pool will kind of tell you which way the fans are picking, or you can tell by point spreads if it's a tight point spread, like the Washington Arizona was a pick 'em, right?
Right.
So in this instance, our pool will tell you that 78% of people are picking Arizona to win over Washington.
Right.
But Vegas is saying this is going to be a close game and the outcome could be either way. So how you gain a game is you take the Washington Redskins, because only 22% of people are picking the Washington Redskins. So it gives you that advantage
to move ahead.
Ahead. So you pay attention to the Vegas
But what
lines.
if you're wrong?
Well, then you lose, but you're not losing as much.
You wouldn't do this every time. It's not like you would do this with for example, the Denver-Seattle game. All right, 65% of people in the Red Zone Challenge are taking the Broncos over Seattle.
You might do it for the Denver-Seattle game because the difference in the Denver-Seattle game is the closest difference on the board as of right now amongst everybody picking.
Okay, bad example. Let me go to another one. How about Pittsburgh-Cleveland? There we go. I know that, for a fact that Vegas is picking Pittsburgh to win this game.
I actually am picking Cleveland because of everything that's going on with Pittsburgh right now. But yeah, that's a good example. Or Green Bay and Chicago is probably a better.
You see
example.
how difficult this is? Like everything I throw at you, you say no, that's wrong.
No, I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm saying this is a good example. This is a good example. You go.
But I mean, it's hard for everybody. This is the hard thing about betting sports.
But Seattle, Denver. If you think that there's a chance, a good chance, a decent chance that game could go either way, you always pick with the side that is picking the least.
Right.
Because if you pick with the side
that'll advance you in your pool.
That'll advance you in your pool because more people are going to be on par with each other by picking the Denver Broncos.
Can we go through a few games then?
You're talking about it being a marathon, not a sprint.
You're
not worried about the one matchup.
Right.
You're worried about the season-long outcome.
This one? The Jets are in Detroit to take on the Lions. All right, 92% of the Red Zone Nation thinks Detroit is going to win that game. I went with Detroit, but what does Vegas say?
Vegas says Detroit by a lot. By like six and a half.
We want to leave that one alone.
That's the one you don't want to touch.
What about the Rams and the Raiders?
Rams are favored by a lot.
Okay, I'm not going to do the Green Bay Chicago game.
The best one, the sexiest one on the board right now, based on Vegas odds and the odds of the Red Zone Challenge. In fact, I picked in the experts picked. I picked Arizona, but I'm going to follow this advice and I'm going to go with the Washington Redskins on this one because I truly feel that game could go either way. I think David Johnson is the deciding factor in that. But if Washington's able to isolate David Johnson and force Sam Bradford to throw the ball to his not so plethora of weapons, then
you like Washington in this game.
The Redskins have a good chance, and I think Jay Gruden's a really good coach.
We talked about this, and it's in the podcast that we do the 5 closest games of the week. This was kind of a pick 'em for us, right? We're like, but Washington is traveling to Arizona. David Johnson is healthy, and I think we all picked Arizona, right?
No, Ali picked Washington.
Oh, did he? Oh, yes, he did. Okay, so that's interesting. So once again, the formula is go to Vegas. See which ones they're saying are very, very close.
Because Vegas doesn't get it wrong.
Go to your...
then go to the Red Zone Challenge. Look and see what the difference is. Take a shot on some flyers that you truly believe in. Because you're talking about the course of 20 weeks here, You're not talking about just winning this week.
Because we're not talking about just giving away some tickets to the Firestone Invitational, $200 cash to Firestone, and the swag. We're talking about a trip to Hawaii, too.
Yeah. Well,
if you beat everybody in the nation. So this really might be able to help you out. KZOZ.com. It's the Firestone Walker Red Zone Challenge, and you can get over there. You can make your picks.